I'm back. It's Teacher Rae again with another tutorial and short demo how to set up the Magic Star reward game for level 4. Mhm. Okay, it's a little different for level 4. The actions have become a little more mature, and then again, a little less mature with the dares. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Okay, let's go. Ooh, hold on a moment. Have you watched the video for preparing to set up the Magic Star reward game? If not, pause this video, go back to my channel, and look for the video titled Magic Star Reward Game Prep. Watch that and then come back and watch this, okay? If you've already seen it, then you're all set. Just keep watching. You have finished previewing your level 4 lesson and you're ready to set up the game. You know your keywords and phrases, and you know how many activities there are in the lesson. To set it up, I'm going to use, let's go with the wind. So this lesson has 4 keywords and 11 activities. To start, we have our Magic Star reward game template. Do not touch the template. Do not change the template. If you delete something from the template, you won't have it next time you want to set up the game. So what we do is we click File, Make a Copy. Name. Let's name this for the lesson that we're creating it for. And this lesson is called The Wind. When you click OK, it will save it to, as you can see, folder My Drive. Or you can create a folder for your lesson games. You could have a folder for level 4, a folder for level 3, etc. I just save them in my main drive because I keep this Google accounts basically primarily for teaching. So the wind, okay. It is saving it to your drive. It is opening a new copy of the Magic Star reward game. Dun, 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 dun. If you notice, your template is still here. Yay! So you can make changes over here, and your template is untouched. Perfect condition. Back over we go. Let's undo the delete. So now we are going to set this game up. So level 4, this is the wind. We start with the word slide. So the words and phrases here are garbage can. Please don't capitalize my words. Air, rise, and naughty. There are 4 words. Now, to continue setting this up, we duplicate the slide. And let's move the words around a little because we don't want the students to get used to where they are. We want them to actually read the word, not memorize the location on the slide. And to make that even more difficult, we duplicate the slide again and we type them in. I usually do it catty corner. I just switch one corner to the other. This way, they'll end up with 4 complete. 4 different slides altogether because I will duplicate this one again and then use the arrange, rotate, flip horizontally. So now, as you can see, we have 4 different slides, all with the same words, but there you have it. Now, if you have a couple of easy words in here, like air, and you think your students already know that one, you can drop it and use a review word from a previous lesson, or a word in this lesson that you think they might have trouble with. You could even do that on different slides. Like you could have this word, this slide could have air and blow for the wind blowing. And this word could have rise and blow. So you can switch it around and add words or subtract words wherever you need to. If you think your students really need review for a word from the previous lesson, you can mix that word in. And hopefully they'll choose it. I mean, it's not guaranteed practice, but hopefully they'll choose it during the game. Or at least they'll see it a lot and remember some things from the previous lesson. Now we have our word slides. Grab the word slides and the title page. Select, shift, select. That grabs all of them. Drag them down out of the way. All the way to the bottom and get them out of the way. Now scroll back up to the top. And this lesson had 11 activities, so we need 11 prizes. We gave them 3 stars recently. I don't use these very often. I want these to be more of a, whoa, 3 stars. So I use this like every other week, like every 4 lessons or so that it doesn't become too common. I don't want them to get 3 stars too often. It also raises them above their classmates way too fast. Magic stars for all. I don't use this as often in level 4, but I do still use it. They still get a kick out of it. If nothing else, they laugh at the teacher as she says, "It's the year of the pig, magic stars for all, for the year of the pig." And yes, I plan to make a different one next Chinese New Year so that it's relevant. And the pig here will go into retirement until the next year the pig rolls around. So for now, goodbye, piggy. Sorry. Now pass it on. We will not need, because level 4s are not big on having to, I don't know who to give it to. I don't know. You choose. Yeah, so let's just leave it out. Give a magic star. They're not fond of that, so let's get rid of that. Level 4, I need 11 prizes. So let's have a few 2 stars, not too many, and many single stars. I have a couple more. Okay, so we now have 9. Oh, that's going to be too many. Let's ditch one of these. And ditch one of these. Oop, nope, wrong way, Feldman. Here we go. So this lesson has some fairly simple words. So your students are going to know what these words mean. Even if they don't know the word, they're going to understand the meaning. They know what naughty is. They know what a garbage can is. They may not know the English words for garbage can, but they know what a garbage can is. They know what air is. They know what rise is. So I think this is a good opportunity to use the teach prize. I can have one of my students teach one of these words. Now, I write the words down in order, so I know which order they will appear in the lesson. I don't remember if this lesson had a warm-up activity. You're going to want to know that. So sometimes I'll go back to the lesson and see if it has a scored warm-up activity. If it does, then this first prize is for the warm-up activity. So the vocabulary is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I want the student to teach the first vocabulary word. No, not the first one. I want the student to teach the rise. Rise would be a good one. So that's the 3rd word. So that would be 1, 2. So it would be this prize. So warm up is 1 star. Vocabulary word 1, garbage can, is the 2nd prize. Air is the 3rd prize. 4th prize, rise. So I actually need this back here because it needs to be the prize for the air activity. And then the student will be teaching the following word. They'll be teaching rise. So we have warm up, garbage can, air, and that means this student's going to be teaching rise. Let's throw 2 stars after this. There we go. And that means the fifth one is the fourth vocabulary word. I like to put movement there. So let's find a movement for level 4 that is appropriate. I've been having trouble getting them to move. So I developed this. So we're going to put dare in here. We're going to leave out the actual dare for now, just so that we don't mix up our count. Okay, so warm up, 1, 2, 3, 4 vocabulary words. So now I have a movement at the end of vocabulary. We'll add the second slide with the actual GIF after I've finished setting up all the prizes for the 11 activities. So how many do I have here? Let's mix you in. Let's put another dare. And let's throw in a regular movement activity just in case I can get them to do it. Let's put in stretch. Let's see, how about right about here? Well, what's midway? Let's see. Yeah, let's put it, that's about midway. Okay, so I now have 11 prizes for 11 activities. Let's start with setting up the dares. I need 2 of them. Let's bring it up. 1, duplicate, 2. I have a folder prepared, a folder on my desktop, all prepared with these dares so that I can just drag them and drop them in. So let's set up the dare games. Okay, a good idea is finding GIFs that are relevant to the lesson. With garbage can, naughty, rise, air, you might find something, maybe air guitar kind of works with air, right? Sort of. Or maybe something where someone is pretending to juggle something in the air. Naughty, get a GIF of someone doing something naughty, like stealing cookies from a cookie jar, or something that has movement but still kind of shows the word naughty. Obviously, child friendly. I'm just going to dump in whatever because this is just a tutorial here. So let's watch the wind here. Let's go with this guy. So I drag and drop from the folder in my computer. I spend, if I have spare time, I will sit at my computer and just kind of scroll through the GIFs and drag and drop as I see ones that I think I like. So this guy's kind of funny. He's a very easy move. I like to make the moves a little more challenging sometimes, but every once in a while I throw in an easy one because then it gets the kids who don't usually take the dare to take the dare. And I give 3 stars. If you do the dare, you get 3 stars. Are you ready? Okay, let's see. Da, 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 da. And it's usually good for a laugh. Even if the kids don't do it, they're at least laughing. So they might not be moving with the dare, but their bodies are moving because they're laughing. It gets the oxygen flowing. So at least it accomplishes something. Okay, so the second dare, let's bring in here, since we're on a chicky chick theme, let's go with the crazy chicken here. I blow them up. I know that it pixelates them, but they're going to be pixelated anyways coming through the video screen, so I figure it doesn't hurt. They can usually see it well enough to copy the move. So here are my 2 dares. Okay, so I now have the lesson set up with all the prizes. Now let's put in some of these loose turns. These are important because they give opportunities to those students who are not as fast on the games or have slower internet speed or are using like a trackpad on a laptop, or there are just some of them, there's no reason they're not at first on the game. It's just luck or chance. And some of the kids actually study the lessons beforehand and write down the answers so they know them beforehand. By using these, we even the score. I use these the most often, last player. Be careful not to use third player, player 3, unless you have consistently at least 3 players in your classroom. Lose turn to player 2, player 3, last player. This is not based on how many stars they have, although you could do it that way. I base it on their score in the activity. The activity scores it for you. So you can actually look at the activity dropdown and you can see that player, student A was first, student C was second, student B was last, etc. Player 2 is usually safe and last player is safe. When you get one student in a class, this is often very funny. Okay, so let's move them around now. So where do I want where? Let's move last player gets the second activity. Let's have player 2 be the teacher. Let's have last player clicks on the dare. And then let's have the last player win a star. And then let's have player 3 gets 2 stars. Player 3 can do 1 star here. No, let's move player 3 up here. Okay, so this is actually fun. You can have 2 lose turns following. In fact, I've done it. I've had it lose turn to last player, third player, second player, and then pass it on. Because it goes back, 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 back. So it's been like, 4 turns before somebody finally gets to win the prize. The students get a kick out of it, and it gives the game more of a feel of randomness. So the students don't quite catch on that you've rigged it, because you don't want them to know that, you always have movement or whatever on such and such activity or blah, blah, blah. You don't want them to know you've set it up. You want them to think that it's completely random. Okay, so let's move the rest of them in here. Let's go player 2 for you. Last player for the stretch. Okay. You don't want it to be uniform. You don't want it to be last player, first, last player, player 2, player 3, last player, player 2. So, mix them up a little bit. Or do them, one after the other sometimes, because it's funny to be player 3, player 3, player 3. What? Why does player 3? Because that's fun too. So we know that the last prize is this single little magic star, and the game is now set up. We have 21 slides for 11 activity prizes. Ooh. Now you know why we set up the activity prizes first and slide the words out of the way. So now let's go down and bring our title and our words back to the top. Select the word slides, duplicate. Select all but one. Always leave that top one behind and drag below the prize. Leave one behind, drag. Leave one behind, drag. Leave one behind, drag. At 4, duplicate. See, this way you keep them in order. The garbage can in the top corner is always 4 slides away from the garbage can in the top corner. Leave one behind, drag. Except for the dare. Okay, wait, duplicate. When you get to the dare, do not put this in between, because the dare, the GIF immediately follows the dare, always. So you skip 2 slides here. Do not put the words between, because the dare is just the introduction. Hey, you want a dare? And then you see the dare. This is the fastest way I've come up with to do this. If anybody else has a faster way, please let me know. And as you can see, I've gone too far. Delete. Remember that last slide was this single magic star, so we don't need this one either. Delete. So that's it. We have 41 slides for a lesson that has 11 activities. So now what you need is a few extras for emergencies, because you never know when you might want to just have everybody play the game because you need to fill in some time, or you need to get that student who hasn't had a chance to play, give them a turn, or you just really, the kids are having fun with the game and you just want to play it again. So you could stop on any transition slide, say before let's talk, and have everybody, give everybody one turn at the game, just randomly let them all play. So in order to do this, you need extra game slides. You need extra prizes because otherwise you run out. The game stops here, presumably after activity 11. So you need more prizes in case you need to use it again. So I like to add, I normally like kind of double it. I don't know that I need to double it. So let's add 8 prizes. This is a prize, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I would grab that 8th one and then scroll up, select all, duplicate, and then grab them, drag them down below that last star. So now I have 70. What we want to do is go up though and pull out the obvious copies so that the students don't figure out that it's the same game rolled back around. So let's go here. You can shift things around a little just to make it a little different. Let's pull teach. We'll have to change this dare. Pull out the stretch. So let's put in this one, which remember in level 4 means nah, 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 you didn't get a star. And let's put in another motion. Let's put the breathe for action, movement, whatever. Okay, so got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. We need, let's trade these two so it looks different. And let's put in a different dare. Since we're on a chicken thing here, let's put another chick here. Do, 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 do. There. Now, if you need to, if you don't want to blow up the GIF, you can leave it regular size and you can delete these things from the screen if you want to. I leave it in just because it's faster. So now the dare has been replaced with one they haven't seen in the same lesson. And we still have our chick, chick, chick theme going on here, which has nothing to do with trash cans, but that's okay. And now we go down. Magic Star was the last prize. We take everything else and get it out of there. Gone. We now have 70 slides for a lesson with 11 prizes. And that's it. You're done. The wind. Now you, presumably, will be teaching this lesson again in the future. So keep it in your drive. And next time you have this lesson, you can just search your Google Drive and there it will be. You can easily switch out some of these dares or lose turn or whatever, or movement activities for newer slides or for your own. Don't forget, you can add your own things in here. You don't have to use mine. That's level 4. So now I will show you how I would use this in my classroom. I mean, not with an actual class, but anyway, I'll give you a demo. Here is a level 4 lesson all set up within the Magic Star reward game. Remember, we did the wind with garbage can, air, rise, and naughty. So I'm going to show you how I would use this in the classroom. First off, I open the Chrome or whatever browser you use. In my tablet, I use Chrome. Here on my computer, I'm not using Chrome. I think this is Safari. So it works in any browser. Just make sure you're logged into your Google account so you can access your drive. I use a tablet. You can use a smartphone or a computer, laptop, etc. If you're using ManyCam, figure out how best this works because I believe this only presents full screen. During my lesson prep, I would make sure I'm logged into my Google account that corresponds to the slides. Open Google Drive, double click on the game that's all set up with the title of the lesson, and click Present. I would then set my tablet face down on my desk until I need it for the lesson. It's the first activity. Sometimes in level 4, that's a warm-up activity. So we're going to say that this has a warm-up activity. Zhawang. Yay! Yes, Zhawang. Zhawang won the warm-up. Here we go. Zhawang. I can click it as I'm lifting the tablet up to my camera. By the time the tablet reaches the camera, the words have appeared on the screen. And if they see the title page, it doesn't hurt anything. They can see that the name of the game is Magic Star Reward Game. It doesn't matter. The student picks a word and says it 3 times. This provides word practice. Other teachers have the students put the word in a sentence. Either is fine. It's up to you. You're the teacher. You decide how you would like the student to choose the word. I prefer them to say the word 3 times because I figure they can never get enough pronunciation practice. And I've noticed that a lot of my level 4 students challenge themselves by choosing the tougher word, which I thought was really awesome. So I never expanded beyond pronunciation practice because if they're using the game to practice, I'm all for it. So, anyways, if they have trouble with the word, I help them. A little error correction. They say the word again, and we move on. I always provide just a little bit of feedback. Ooh, nice pronunciation. Oh, that was terrific. Nice job. Something to let them know that their efforts were noticed. I did notice that they tried to say a word. I noticed that they chose a difficult word. I noticed that they tried to apply my error corrections. I do not overcorrect. I generally stop at once. If they don't get it the second time, I leave it go because I don't want the game to become a chore. I want the game to remain fun. So I don't push corrections too much during the game. If they're unable to apply the corrections well, I still say something positive about their effort. Like, oh, that was awesome. Nice practicing. And let them play the game. Student B won the warm up. He was first. Let's have student B play the game. Magic star. Woohoo! Give them a star. Set the tablet down. That's it until the next scored activity. Remember, I use these in scored activities, activities that tell me which student was first, second, third, etc. That way I don't have to remember who was where. Although in some dragging activities, you do have to remember who was where. Most of the clickable interactive activities have scores, so you can just follow along with what it says on the lesson. The next activity, student B won the game. Student B says, garbage can, garbage can, garbage can. Oh no! Lose turn 2. Who is the last player? I'll often have the students say who is the last player. Last player means last in that specific activity, not last in all the stars overall. I do not want to, number one, like publicly call out who has the least stars. I try not to do that. But you can publicly call out who's the last in that one activity because anything could be the reason that the student was last in that one activity. They could have been getting a drink of water or something when you click authorize. Anyways, so the last player gets to play the game and we do it right away. We don't wait. So this is all within the same play period here. Last player gets to play. Last player says, rise, rise, rise. Magic star for the last player. Woohoo! Again, when the student said the word, the student received some type of verbal feedback from me. Nice. Ooh, nice pronunciation. Wow. Hey, you already know the word. If it's a word we haven't hit yet in the vocabulary, see? Always a bit of praise never hurts to let them know that they're doing well and that you are paying attention. Show them that their effort matters. Even during the game, their effort matters and you recognize that effort. The game goes on, the game goes on. Da, 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 da. I set the game down after the prize, right? So that when the next game is being played, I can pick the game up after the scores are totaled. And by the time I get it to the camera, the words have shown. It's a little slower on a tablet than it is here on the computer. On the computer here, it's like right away. On the tablet, this is a little bit slower. But by the time I get it to the screen, I can tap it on its way up and it goes to the words. So the next student plays 2 magic stars, yay! And that's it until the next activity. Set the tablet down. The next player, next activity, goes to the last player. Remember, the player gets the stars. Oh no! Oh, we're still playing the same game here. See this? So we got like 3 turns on the game. Here's the dare. So we pause here and build up the suspense. Are you ready? 3 stars. If you do it, can you do it? Can you do it? Okay, your cameras have to be on so I can see you doing it. That's if they have the cameras off, obviously. Side note, I don't care if they leave their cameras off. They may not be able to play this game if they don't turn it on for this. But I let students leave their cameras off. I believe that they deserve to have that privacy if they need it. What if they're taking their lesson in their pajamas and their classmates are girls and it's a boy? Or what if it's really hot and the girl is wearing like a really light sleeveless pajama top? I let them have their privacy. Let them close their cameras. Some students close their cameras because it's easier on the battery life of whatever device they're using, or on their Wi-Fi. It takes less Wi-Fi if they're just bringing the feed in rather than feeding the all that data out. So cameras off, I don't care. As long as I can hear you when it's your turn to speak, I can hear you when the group is talking, and you participate in everything, then I'm completely fine with your camera being off. Unless you want 3 stars during the dare, in which case you have to turn your camera on. So here we go. The dare. Here it is. Are you ready? Can you do it? And everybody laughs because most of these dares are really stupid, silly. So this is just, bouncing up and down and looking back and forth with different arms. It gets the students moving. If they don't do it, they're usually at least laughing. So it's still getting the oxygen pumping to their brains. It's still like changing up the lesson and throwing in something to just kind of like give them a little bit of a physical oomph. Usually at least one student will take you up on those stars. Usually. So we put it down because the dare's over. Everybody got 3 stars. I actually prefer when they all do it because it takes a while to give all these stars. So on to the next one. Next activity. Oh no. Magic star. Next activity. Oh no. Oh, stretch. Okay, the star slides are only for the student that played the game. So 2 stars, 3 stars, 1 star, etc. Well, there's only 1, 2, or 3. The student that played the game gets the star. Movement slides, everybody does. So everybody hopefully stretches. So this is a class activity. Everybody wins. Everybody gets to do it. And hopefully you can get them to do it. The reason we have dares in level 4 is because it's not as easy to get them to do these little movement exercises. Or to know if they're doing it because their cameras might be off. You're more likely to have cameras being off in level 4. I'm not sure about level 3. Stretches for everybody, including the teacher. You do it too. It's easier to get them to do it if you're doing it. The longer you do it, the more likely they are to jump in and do it because they're like kind of like can't resist and they don't know how long you're going to keep doing it. So they do it just to get you to stop, maybe. You never know. So do it for a few seconds. Don't just, okay, let's go. Give it a good stretch. Give yourself a good stretch. Maybe like stand up and really stretch. And hopefully they'll follow suit and do it too. Okay, so we continue. Here we go. Remember, there are a lot of activities in level 4. There are like 11 and 12 activities, games for the students to play. So it goes on, and we have another dare. 3 stars for the dare. You have to have your camera on. Are you ready? You can actually build them up and say, are you ready? and they'll say, "Yes, yes." And then you show them the dare. And then something like this, just they usually just roll over laughing. And one or two might actually get up and do it, but it served its purpose. It gave everybody a laugh. It got their blood flowing. Oxygen's racing to the brain. They're laughing. They're engaged in the lesson, which is really important, especially with level 4. The student that was doing their homework will look up and go, "What?" Yes, it happens. It works. Okay, and on with the lesson. On with more activities. More activities. Every game gets to play. Every activity gets to play the game. Do, 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 do. And on and on and on and on. You get the idea. So that's level 4. Look through some of the other levels, even if you don't teach them. I had little tips or whatever maybe in the other demos that I maybe didn't include in this one. So